I'm Jim Gary, and welcome to Batillepi's Workshop. I've spent the last weeks preparing to swap out the 7.4-liter Vortec engine in my 26-year-old Workhorse-based motorhome for a remanufactured engine. And there are so many things to remove, and it's hard to identify and reach many of those parts. In this video, I just remove a lot of odds and ends in order to be able to lift out the original engine. I remove the steering pump hoses, a variety of wires and clips, the throttle cables, vacuum lines, various sensors, exhaust pipe nuts, the ground strap, the starter motor, and the engine oil dipstick. And I've marked chapters to make it easier to skip to the parts you want to see. And I'm trying to keep these videos to around 15 minutes. So this is part 5 in this series. And please beware that I'm a biologist, not a mechanic. I'm showing you what I did, not what I think you should do. So please consult a professional mechanic before taking on any work like this. And as always, I welcome any comments or suggestions you may have, especially if you've removed a similar engine from a Workhorse chassis. And if you found this video interesting, there are links to my other videos in the description below. So please like and subscribe. Now let's get on with the video. So this is the steering pump, and I'm looking at it from underneath. The manual says to take off the hoses to it, but to leave it on. And I was trying to figure out why it wanted me to do that. But actually, I can see now. So here's a hard connection. And then over here, this is a hard connection, but it's attached to a rubber hose. And there's another larger rubber hose back there that's just on a clip. So I think if I disconnected all three of those, then this could just come out with the engine. And I wanted to take the pump out first. The head for this bolt is back here under the pulley. I could take this off, and I could take these hoses off, and I can't get that pump actually removed unless I take the pulley off, and there's a special tool for that, which I don't have. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take these hoses off. There we go. There. Okay, so that's off. Yeah, I can't get that to come off, and I'm afraid it's so brittle it probably would need to be replaced anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off. Yep, there's oil in there. I gotta go get a bucket under it. I'd already replaced the steering pump oil once. I guess I'm doing it again now. And now I'm going to try to get the clip off the bottom hose there. Okay. Well, the hose, I can tell it broke loose, but I can't slide this. Might be able to just push it off. Yep, there it went. Got some oil coming out of this end here, but I can't do anything about that. So now what I got to do is crawl under there and undo the hard connection. It turns out this is a 16 millimeter up here. I loosened it, but it wasn't very tight. I guess there's going to be oil pouring out of here. So I've got a bucket ready just in case. But now the pump is completely separate from the body. It's disconnected. I don't think there's any wires, but I'll be watching it closely when we lift the engine out. I'm coming back to my list. Put a circle by removing the radiator because I decided not to remove it. I don't think I need to, so I just left that open. And I've got to disconnect the cruise control cable. I've got to disconnect the electrical connectors at the throttle body and remove the accelerator control cable from the throttle body. So I'm going to do those things now. So here's the throttle body here, and here's the connectors. There's 2 of them, and they're labeled. So they just pop out. The blue one. This is a purple one, but it's round, so I can't fuse them. So those are all good. Put a little tape over them, protect the holes. Now these 2 cables, notice that this one's really loose, and I'm just going to pop it out. I think it just comes off. Yep. So it's just got this little snap-on plastic bracket. And then this one, there's a strong spring, but that's held here by this lever. I'm not going to touch that. Underneath there's a slot. I'm just going to tuck this out from underneath there. It slides out sideways. So when I go to put it back in, I just bring it around, tuck it in sideways, and then slip it underneath this part of the bracket. So those 2 are disconnected there. Now I want to disconnect them here. Okay, there's the cruise control. It's connected back here as well. And they're connected again on the edge of the doghouse over here, but I think I can just take this out. And it said to be careful not to damage it. And this one, I just have to get this off. There she comes. So that one's off. There, I'm going to tape these up to keep them protected a little bit later. So those are off. So I can uncheck a couple things from my list. disconnected the electrical connectors to the throttle body. I disconnected the cruise control, and I removed this accelerator control cable. So the next thing is to find some vacuum lines to remove from the engine and remove the electrical connector from the EGR valve. So the first thing I want to do is get this vacuum line out of here. Finally got this clip apart, this hose. I think it's a vacuum hose, and there was a clip in here and I couldn't figure it out. I ended up breaking it, but now it just comes apart. It looks like there's a stop there. The clip just holds it in, so I'll figure out something later. But now I can get this out of the way. So here's the EGR. The pipe comes up here and it goes into here on the top end. I may have to disconnect it if I want to take off the exhaust manifolds before I remove the engine, so I'm going to put some penetrating oil here just in case. These wires are easy enough. They're just those same kind of connectors. So this blue one goes into this fitting here. And while I'm at it, I'll take this one apart here. There we go. So I've got the EGR wires here. I've got it labeled. Get that out of the way. And then I've got this thing, I just call it next to the EGR. Goes into that secondary thing. And then I've got this one up here, and I just put it to single wire connector because there's a single wire that comes up here. And it's connected to this bracket here. And I've got to disconnect that to move this, and I'll just tape it on the side, but I'll give it the same label as single wire connector. So I'll know later. But first I got to remove this. I've got to move the whole wiring harness out of the way. So this little single wire connector here underneath the loom has a little button that just pops into this hole right here on this bracket on the left side, forward side of the engine, or actually the left forward side of the intake manifold. So I'm going to label this as what it is to match the other one, which I'm just calling it single wire connector, and I'll just tuck that out of the way. Okay, so all those are off. I see some more wiring I want to remove up front, so I'm going to move to there. So I've got this clip here. I'm going to undo it. There it is. That's out. And I've got a label. That goes into a clip right behind the thermostat. So I've got a label that says just that. There we go. And then the last two wires here, one goes right on this. So that's a ground wire. And it's just an extra nut over the bolt. So I'm going to label that. It's just so much worth it to take the extra time to make sure that you know where things go when you put them back. Well, now there's one more wire going down across the front of the engine. So I may have to crawl under there to see where it goes. So I'm under the left side of the engine. This is either a heat sensor or a oxygen sensor. I'm not sure which. And this is the wire that I found that is eventually connected up right next to the thermostat up there. There's a couple of clips here that are holding this cable here. So I'm going to disconnect those as well. And then I can hopefully pull this up and be able to move the wire out. So we're now on the left side of the engine, but the forward end. This is the wire that comes down right off the near the thermostat. I'm going to cut this clip. So that's loose now, and there's another one on the other side. So now we're going to work our way to the back of the engine. A little bit of penetrant on these bolts here, because I'll probably have to take that heat shield off. This heat shield for this sensor is 3/8, so it should come off easily enough. It did. So they're just these little 3/8 inch head bolts. They're short. And then here's the heat shield. Pretty much only go on one way. Let's take this off. Okay. Just a single wire goes in there. So now I can go ahead and pull that up. And I've got an adjustable wrench to try to remove it. And it's got some kind of sealant on it. I'll see when I take it off, but I'll have to look that up in the manual, but it's just coming right out. It must just be a heat sensor because there's nothing much on there, but you can see that red sealant. And I've saved in this bag the shield, the heat shield for it, and the nuts that hold, the bolts that held that on, so I'm going to just put that right in here. Into this bag, it's labeled. So we're good on that. This is the top front of the engine here. So here's the engine in the doghouse. And this is that wire I found. And I disconnected it from below. It goes into a sensor on the left side of the engine. But I just want to get this wire out. And I'll label this as to where it goes. So now I've got my big boy here. It's another one of those top hat nuts. Okay, that one's off. Okay, so they're all off. So this ground strap right here has to come out, and it's just a simple bolt on the chassis. And there's obviously a bolt on the engine too, but I think I get the one off the chassis a little bit easier. So I'm at the rear of the engine. On the left side, here's the oil filter. And I've been working on getting the strap loose. It's 15 millimeters. It feels loose. Yeah, it's loose. So again, there's no washer, just the nut, plain nut. And there's that grounding strap off. And there may be other grounding straps, but that's the only one I know. I'm going to put the nut back on. Now I want to take the sensor off. This one's attached to the exhaust pipe. And I see a wire up here, so it's connected. So I think I can just disconnect it, which is up here. There, got the clamp off, so I'm just going to leave that off. So this is the starter motor, and here's the loom that comes down to it up from the engine bay. And there's several sets of wires here. Most of them go to the solenoid, but there's one that goes to the sensor, very much like the sensor we took out on the other side. So I'm gonna undo this bolt here so I can undo all the wires to the solenoid. It's a 9/16. And there's a nut and there's a washer, and it's actually a copper wire. And there's three wires that go to it. This black one, this thick one, and this purple one attaches somewhere else. But let's get these off. Yeah, these 3 wires here all connect to that bolt, so I will label them as such. And I'll put the nut and the washer back on. Again, this is a brand new starter motor because when the engine would turn over, I was hoping it was the starter. There's another thing up here, but I'll take these bolts out here and take drop this down and be able to get at that better. This is the easiest starter motor I've ever worked with. Just 2 bolts go straight up, and you don't have to fish anything out from it, the teeth of the gear or anything. There's just one long bolt with a hat-shaped head, not a washer. And it's not a very heavy starter motor. In the older cars, they were really heavy. There. Got the bolt out. It comes loose. And as you can see, there's just this little bolt. So I just got to get this purple wire off. There it comes. The little purple wires off. Set the starter motor down out of the way. I've got the nut, and there was a little washer, which I'll find after I clear out. It's falling underneath me. But I'll put this nut back on the solenoid. And then I've got the labels I made. So these 3 wires here, the main solenoid post, so I made this label. And the purple one goes to the smaller post, so I've got one for that too. Okay, I'm going to reach up in here. There. So that's just like the other side. And I've got a baggie made for this, all ready to protect it, but I think it's a temperature sensor. So let's get this sensor out. So that sensor won't get damaged. I've got a little bag for it. I also noticed, if you look here, that's the dipstick. And I was wondering how that dipstick came out. Well, now we know. It's a little circlip. So I'm just going to try to pop that circlip off. There it is. Yep, I could take that right out through the top, put the circlip back. So I'm going to see if I can get these exhaust manifold bolts off, because the motor's 24 inches wide without the exhaust manifolds on, and the doorway is 26. So I think with the exhaust manifolds on, it'll not quite fit through the door of the RV. And so I have 2 options. I can take the manifold off underneath the car, underneath the RV like I'm trying now, or I can lift the engine up and then remove it while it's raised on the hoist inside the RV before I try to move it out the door. But I'm just going to try and see what happens. It looks like it's a 14 millimeter. It looks like it's a 14 millimeter. And I've got the exhaust pipe off of the intake manifold here. And I've been putting penetrating oil on the exhaust manifold nuts for off and on for a few days now. I think I got it placed right. Let's just see.
So the list of things I still need to do prior to lifting out that engine, it's getting very short. And anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Similar videos of mine are linked in the description below. Bye.